Hey everybody, welcome back to Tully Talks, and today we're going to be talking Wonder Woman 84. But before we do, I hope that we can continue to grow our community here at Tully Talks, and I hope I've earned you a subscription. If so, please subscribe, hitting that red subscribe bar there. Hit all our notifications, like, comment, shares, again, subscribe if you're liking where we've been going. But yeah, let's get right into it. Wonder Woman 84 came out December 25th on HBO Max and theaters. It of course starred Gal Gadot, Chris Pine, Kristen Wiig, Pedro Pascal, all famous in their own right for various movies, roles that they're doing. Currently, Pedro Pascal has been doing The Mandalorian. Kristen Wiig is a Saturday Night Live alumni. Gal Gadot, of course, the current Wonder Woman. Chris Pine in this movie, the Star Trek movies, other movies. There's a possibility he's doing the Rogue Squadron movie coming out, I heard. But as far as the overall cast of the movie, they all really did well. I don't think anyone really overacted, underacted. There were some problems with the writing, though, and how it was presented in the story, because basically the movie contends with your greatest wishes coming true and what the cost of that may be. And Pedro Pascal's character, Maxwell Lord, eventually comes across this thing. Basically, it's a wish stone. They don't explain how he knows about it, what he has done to accumulate this knowledge, to have other artifacts, and doesn't really explain how he came across this knowledge in the first place. Kristen Wiig's character, the cheetah, it did well with the standard trope of the misunderstood girl, let her hair down and she becomes hot and take the glasses off. And Kristen Wiig again did well. I'm not saying she didn't do well, but for instance, one of the character traits that they portrayed as she was in her nerdy state, so to speak, was that she was unable to walk in heels. If you're unable to walk in heels, why are you even wearing heels in the first place? Confused, especially if you're working in a laboratory, so to speak, or not a laboratory, but if you're inventorying artifacts and stuff like that. I don't think that there's a need to have high heels. But as she started becoming stronger and this and that, more confident in herself with the wish that she made, she's able to walk in heels, and I think that is great that she was able to walk in heels, but how did it change her person, this wish? How did it become that she, at what cost did it cost her to come out of her shell the way she did? Because her wish was to be more like Diana, and that caused Diana to get depowered a little bit throughout the movie, because some of Diana's powers had went to her. Diana's wish was, of course, to have the love of her life, Trevor, back, and she wished for him unbeknownst that she was using the wish stone. And he comes back in the body of some guy. We'll get into that in a moment. The opening scene starts with the Amazonian Olympics, so to speak, and some of the toughest warriors are going through this obstacle course. Because I would assume not all the Amazonian women are warriors. I'm assuming that some of them are artists, some of them are city planners, some of them are philosophers, so on. politicians within the sect of trying to. I'm sure there's an occasional discrepancy of, nothing major, but, when you live in a larger group of people, you tend to need a little space sometimes and blow off a little steam at each other because it's of the cramped conditions sometimes. You know what I mean. I hope I'm making a point that's coming through. But yeah, so they do. She's like still a child, or in child form at this point because of the amount of time they live. So she could have been like 200 at that point. But she pretty much does this whole obstacle course, and near the end, she gets thrown off her horse. She discovers this little shortcut that she can slide down the side of this mountain, get back to her horse. She nearly wins until the general of the Amazonian army stops her and tells her that basically a shortcut is not winning. You would think that the intentional shortcut that Diana used on purpose would come back later on in the film, and it didn't. You would think that they were trying to maybe make a bridge between that and her wishing for Trevor back, but when she wished for it, she was unaware of the wish that she was making. So she wasn't intentionally trying to create a shortcut to cheat death. In the race as a child, she intentionally tried to take a shortcut. And to me, if you're going to make Diana wish for Trevor to be back, make her fallible, even though she's this warrior, make it where she wished for him to come back, not just unbeknownst wished for him to come back, and it created some of these problems. So Pedro Pascal's character becomes the stone. He wishes to become the wish stone. So he can go to these various people of power, and if you touch it, you touch him, he will grant you wish, but at the price that he asks for, which eventually leads to him meeting with the president after having over like 3/4 of the oil properties and this and that, and the president wishes for more nuclear weapons towards Russia and closer to Russia because this is 1984 and the Cold War is happening, and then Russia is wishing for more nukes, and then he's able to get to this broadcast system that the United States government had in some sort of secret bunker to broadcast to all TVs in the world. So they do that. He does this, it's able to reach out to all these people, and everyone's making these wishes. I wish for this, I wish for that. And, I'm going to get back to that a little bit too, where eventually, like, if you renounce your wish or you destroy the wish stone, all the wishes become not relevant anymore. That's if you destroy the wish stone. If you renounce your wish, only your wish will be disappeared from existence. So Diana finally comes to terms with Trevor Noah's death. She renounces her wish for him to be around so she can go save the day like he needs her to and that the world needs her to. On a side note, with Trevor taking over this guy's body, because it's kind of like a ghost situation. If you ever watched that with Patrick Swayze and Whoopi Goldberg and Demi Moore, Patrick Swayze takes over Whoopi Goldberg's character in this one scene and has this weird threesome with Demi Moore. If you really think about it, in the movie you see Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore making love, but it's really, if you think about Whoopi Goldberg and Demi Moore and their bodies kind of whatever happens during happy time, I don't know. But so think about it like that. So yeah, Wonder Woman is a grapist. She's a grapist because she didn't ask that guy's permission to use his pee-pee, his pekka, his man unit. And Trevor wasn't going to say anything. I mean, he was dead for 50 years, man. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, sure. It's just a side note with that. I just wonder what would have happened if it was a reversal of roles on that. Maxwell Lord has a son that a subplot has been going on that he's trying to do this basically to make his son proud of him. And at the end, when all this is going on, the son and the father will have an emotional reunion, so to speak, or that's what they want you to feel, emotions. Finally, at the precipice of Maxwell Lord's plan, he's in the middle of doing all this broadcasting to the world, and Wonder Woman lassos his foot, because the lasso of truth not can only make you tell the truth, but can make you see the truth. And she was able to show the truth to the world, and the world renounced their wishes. Finally, Maxwell Lord renounced his wish, which then nullified any other wishes anyway, whether they were renounced or not. You don't really see Cheetah renouncing her wish at the end, like you see it almost every other character. But some of the great things I liked about this movie was the actors and their portrayal. Chris Pine, thumbs up. Galgadot, thumbs up. Pedro Pascal, thumbs up. I think it was a little over the top for me for his character, but it was the time of the 80s of excess, so I'm kind of giving a slide on that. Kristen Wiig played basically herself, or at least some of her most memorable character work on Saturday Night Live, the awkward. She did well. I wasn't a big fan on the CGI on Cheetah. They did well on the golden armor of Wonder Woman, which was previously owned by Astra, a warrior from Themyscira from centuries ago. She basically saved the Amazonians with all the armor put together to protect her. That later on shows to be Linda Carter, the original Wonder Woman, in post-edit scene. And too long. CGI work could have done better. First opening scene, not necessarily. The mall scene, very good. If you look at it as a movie that was meant to be looked at as an 80s movie, then you won't be disappointed, because it's not going to live up to the first Wonder Woman movie, at least in my opinion. So if you can go into it knowing it's an 80s movie, made in 2022 to be presented as an 80s movie, you'll love the movie. But until next time, Schnookums, peace.